Good morning. Not too long ago, law enforcement officers were greeted on the streets of America with "Good morning, officer." When they talked to somebody, they heard "Yes, sir," and "No, sir." Today, we see law enforcement officers greeted with slurs, taunts, and in some cases, gunfire. The uniform of a law enforcement officer today has used to prevent crime, now it's become a target for crime. On a wall not far from here is 20,000 federal, state, and local law enforcement officers who responded to, prevented, or stopped a crime. Today, we're honored that Ms. Tricia Wirtz is here and that her hero husband, Reading Police Officer Scott Wirtz, died from 2 gunshot wounds from a criminal who may have used the same rounds to kill a child. Every officer's death tells a story, has a family, and is intertwined with the community. The team of law enforcement, federal, state, and local, responds day or night, no matter the circumstances or who called. Those officers are of different sexes, races, creeds, and religion with one bond. They took an oath to run in when most people run out. We hear calls for respect. Respect goes 2 ways, and in many communities, respect these days is a 4-letter word. We also see some elected and public officials not condemn the attacks on law enforcement for the sake of politics. In doing so, they tacitly support those with an anti-law enforcement agenda who engage in vile rhetoric that encourages challenges to authority and emboldens some to violence against law enforcement. While this atmosphere has been allowed to fester, we see policy decisions that undermine the rule of law, including micromanaging what equipment law enforcement officers can access and the release of up to 6,000 drug offenders whose death they peddled is now viewed by some as nonviolent. The rule of law itself is under attack, and at its core stands a law enforcement officer who have become targets despite their unwavering dedication to serve and protect and are the first call whenever anyone's in trouble. If we allow these attacks on our officers to continue, who will be safe? Are we in fact condoning attacks on America itself? Right now, an officer is responding to a child missing, helping a victim of a crime, or as the officers did in Oregon, confronting the worst of society. Does that service not deserve respect? The Thin Blue Line Act sends a message that America will not stand for these attacks, supports law enforcement, and sends a message to criminals that an attack on one may lead to the full weight of justice on their shoulders. Senator Toomey and Senator Sessions should be applauded for showing leadership when others prefer to cower behind tweets. They have become 2 of the most reliable point men that the law enforcement team can count on, and we thank them for that. FLEOA fully supports this bill and looks forward to its swift passage. Thank you.